Hey everyone, Timid Falconite here. Welcome back to Road to 1K. This week's match, matches, will be this tier 3 fog match against user weakness on the map Missy, and this tier 4 fog match on the map Scavenger against user Red Scare 88. Both of them are around mid-level 900s, so upper beginner level, lower intermediate level sort of play. I will have a chapter in the video if you want to just skip ahead to see the Sammy match, but I'm going to start with this match against weakness here, so let's get into it. So Misty is an interesting map. It's got 2 HQs. Now the reason that's interesting is the first time I was playing this map, I didn't realize, I was still in the lab mode of Witchcraft Trials from last week, in which you have to capture all of your opponent's labs in order to win. So I thought that you needed to capture both HQs to win. Turns out you only need to capture 1 HQ to win. The way this map works is you have these landers on your forward HQs, and then you have these back HQs, which are a little bit easier to capture if you have, say, someone like, I guess, Sammy, for example, just hiding in infantry over here, pops Victory March and yeets it into this back HQ. Honestly, if I were designing this map, I'd just have the 1 HQ instead of having this dumb nonsense with the 2 HQ thing. But whatever, it's a thing, and that was my mistake for not knowing that the HQ thing was a thing to begin with. But anyways, you got the comm towers in the corners with these ducks on them, peering into their souls. The recons here are interesting because if you're playing normally, the duck has an option between either staying on the shoal here or moving onto the comm tower, where he can not see into this space here. But you can see into this airport here from the comm tower. So it's a bit of a mix and match for people who are playing normal. If you're playing Sonya, Sonya can see everything from this comm tower. So all she has to do is leave her recon on that comm tower and she's set. And from other than that, it's not really too complicated. You got the landers in the middle here, which you should leave on your HQ. And then you got the landers in the corners here. This one's a little bit further out, I think, because it's player 2, right? Yeah, player 2 has their boat closer to here, so that to give them a bit of an advantage, in addition to the extra infantry. Which, let's take a look at map analysis. It's maybe a bit stilted and heavier player 2, but whatever, doesn't matter. Within 5%, so it's fine. You have all these shoal tiles around here, which are interesting. You have this harbor 2 as well. So basically, you got this Freelander, which you can use to ferry units from this base mainly, to basically anywhere along this coastline you want. A good spot to ferry them to is this one. Although you can only unload 1 unit from here and 1 from here. There are only really a couple spots where you can unload multiple units. This shoal being one of them. If you're thinking of playing Drake on this map, by the way, so that you get the extra move for the shoals. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You can get a little bit of a chain going from this shoal to this shoal with Drake, but I think that's the only thing that Drake can really do with the extra movement. Now that being said, Drake's pretty good on this map because of the boats on the HQs, the black boats on the airports here, and then the extra movement on these landers. So Drake's actually pretty good on this map. So you can see he's 156% of the time. As compared to Kindle, which is kind of the standard for Tier 3 fog, which is 60. Which is it's a pretty densely packed map, so of course it's doing well. Of course Flash is doing terribly, and Andy and Sonya are doing around average as well as Rachel. So that's about it. You got this corner property here, which you can put like a mech in here, and they can move move back and forth from the mountain and there for vision stuff. So your opponent really can't capture this once you have a mech in this property. And then other than that, it's kind of just capturing whatever is closest to you. The lander dynamic here is makes everything a bit weird, and then pushing into this area is a bit weird, but you'll see. Yeah, let's go ahead and just take a look at the actual match. So, replay here, I picked Sonya, of course, and weakness here, picked Andy. Andy's pretty good on this map. Well, pretty average on this map, so. None of us really picked a crazy CO for this map, so. As you can see, moving in with the infantry like that pretty early. I actually opted for the airport first, because I was planning to send in a battlecopter to take care of that instead of going for like some artillery play here. But you can do whatever you want early. The only issue with artillery is that you need a second unit if you're not playing Sonya. You need a second unit. Well, even if you are playing Sonya, you need a second unit in order to scout the recon for your artillery. So, battlecopter I think is generally the better play. As you can see here, moving in pretty normally on all fronts more or less. And that's turn 4. Opponent's turn. So yeah, you see him just ferrying the infantry back and forth, and they're getting some nice gains on this side pretty quickly and pretty early on as well. So it's turn 5. As you can see, he's actually opted to move back onto the comm tower finally. So there's that. As you can see, I move in from my battlecopter. You can see it as well. So there's that. And I have the recon here in order to scout it out nice and efficiently. So as well. So there's that. I can just see it, move in from the battlecopter, and then move out with my recon, as opposed to having it stay around. It's turn 6, my turn. Moving in from battlecopter is obviously, as I said before, and he's actually put off the artillery first to push in for this as well. As compared to what I did, which if you saw last week's episode, you might know what I did. But anyways, he's got the tank on the land here already, which is pretty good for him. Still can't see what my health is on the black boat, but it doesn't matter. It'll be done in a couple of turns anyways. And he actually opts to attack into my battlecopter with his recon, which is not the play I would do, because if he just sat with it, he would have delayed my battlecopter for an extra turn, but whatever. As you can see, my income's not doing super hot. I'm kind of behind by a lot. But I am getting the comm tower a bit earlier than he is. And I am closing the income gap pretty significantly as well. But so far it's not great on the income thing. That's turns out his turn. So he's not exactly done with the airport yet. Able to scout out with a recon some. And there's that. So far he's opting to stay a little bit closer to home with his units rather than spreading them out like crazy, which I think is smart. Moving back with the lander onto that. Is that a shoal? Yeah, it's a shoal. So I can move units onto there. next turn. Probably the mech and the infantry is where I'm gonna move next turn. And then I scout out those units as well. Have my battlecopter moving in here, but really I should have at least a tank. And now that I see the battlecopter, I should have an anti-air as well, but I have to throw rockets instead. Now, honestly, no, I don't like rockets on this map. And the main reason is because there's not really anywhere you can defend with them effectively. It's all open area around here. Even from here, you aren't reaching your own HQ with them. So no, I don't like them at all. I'd opt for either artillery or just straight up tanks. I like tanks on this map. And then maybe an artillery to knock off this black boat. But other than that, no. No, do not build rockets on this map. Bad idea. There's just nowhere to put them. What was that? Turn 10? Close enough. So I'm actually able to start pushing into the black boat now. Actually running low on ammo on the battlecopter, which is interesting. So that's the thing. Anyways, as you can see, the income difference, I think he's got a pretty sizable income lead. So about 20 at turn. He's got 20 this turn. Well, we're about even on income actually, but he's spreading into this area now, so it'll be interesting to see how this ends up working. He can't see that these are at 7 health either, so well, I guess he can due to the cap, but anyways, I think I pushed a little bit heavy onto this city. Oh, and I shouldn't have had I moved my lander off of my HQ a couple times ago, which is a bad idea. Don't do it. Don't ever do it, because you can't put it back on once you move it off. So that was a mistake. But anyways, honestly, that probably cost me the match, straight up. But oh well. Now I'm ahead a little bit in income. For now, well, he'll take the lead in a second. And I'm doing more damage with my battlecopter, able to save ammo here by attacking into the infantry. But really my units are kind of scattered all over the place, which is not really what you want. I've got nothing backing up my infantry here except for a battlecopter, but just one battlecopter isn't enough. So I need to start moving my units either down here, mainly just down towards this base, because I got this lander off of there and it's really exposed. But I'm gonna tell you right now that didn't happen, because I was going. But my friend of mine here was like, okay, I figured, well, he'll probably get the HQ, but that'll be fine, because it's kind of how the bases work, right? I mean, lands work. He'll just be able to move back in later and recapture and whatever. So I was fine with giving up ground here, where I probably shouldn't have been. Let's save the next turn, because that's being weird. But anyways, I popped my counter break here, moving all right, like so, and do some infantry encounters here. But as you can see, my units are so spread out that he can just pick away at them nice and easily. So there's that. And in a couple of turns, once he gets his hyper upgrade, he'll be able to repair a lot of his damage up and then make a nice push towards my HQ. So it's not looking too great for me, I'm not gonna lie, but we'll see. Honestly, I might have wanted to save my super, or at least on my charge. And I put through the battlecopter too fast again. Okay, you know what? I'm just gonna skip to turn 13. Okay, this is kind of where the big push happens. So, as you can see here, I moved down there with my medium tank for some reason, where I should have definitely put it there. Definitely should have put it in this forest so I could have done something in here. But I move in against the battlecopter here. And then this is my main mistake, I would say. I'm able to move my rockets into this city, or at least into this forester's turn, and I should have done that instead of going towards this HQ here. I should have moved in to defend my HQ here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, from the forest I actually would have had a good chance. So I would have been able to move you into the forest and then put units around here, and that would have been fine. But no, instead I went for this instead. So figured, well, I'm getting behind, so I better take this real quick. Because I don't want to be down a lab, right? I don't want to be down an HQ. Because then he'll just be 1 HQ away from winning, so. I pushed in there, but he's able to hyper upgrade his battlecopter right back off the floor off, so he's able to wipe the floor with the rest of my units. He's got 3 battlecopters at this point as well. Which on a map like this where you have 2 airports, 2 bases. Is it 2 bases? Yeah, no, it's 3 bases, but 2 airports. You kind of expect that, especially with a small map like this, but he's able to just move in like so. And he's kind of able to just seal off the HQ, which I had no intention of trying to push for it, because I didn't think that would mean I would lose, but oh well. So as you can see, I push in a little bit, kind of for no reason. I do 3 hull damage to his lander, and this shows off why you want, honestly, why you want to play Drake in this map. Well, that doesn't show that off, but this shows off why you don't move your lander off of the HQ, because it would have taken him a while longer to push into this than if I had done it like this. And I would have had time to move in with all my units here and reinforce and make this a little bit better. And then honestly, these coasts here, I don't like at all. I don't like moving units into them at all. Maybe up to this harbor, and then this one, maybe this one, but not this one, I don't think. Because your opponent can just send out like a recon or something to take care of this pretty quickly. Or a tank or something, like 1 tank or 1 recon, while you really want to start pushing your units towards the center here. Because otherwise, as you saw, they just got wiped up. This guy is fine. This guy's doing fine though. But as you can see, he just caps. And I lose. Because... Wait, did I turn into a base? Yeah, I think that's still an HQ. But anyways, lesson from this match is do not leave your HQs exposed like that. Even if there are 2 of them, they're not like labs, you can't lose one. If you lose one, you lose. So that's the main takeaway from this map. The other takeaway from this match is you want to keep your units as condensed and focused as you can, and not really spread them out like I was doing down here. Should have put them more like this. Maybe send 1 guy down to this city back here, but other than that, keep them more condensed. I think that's it for this match though, so I will move on to the Tier 4 Sammy match. So, first thing to note, this has a capture limit of 28. That's super important when you're playing Sammy matches. I'm just gonna... Maybe you can guess what happened during this match, but anyways... as you can see here, I think I've gone over this Scavenger a little bit before. You got these pipe seams which you want to open up. And then you basically push this way or this way, depending on who you are, and then have your weak side here. What you want to do is put like a little bit of reinforcements on your weak side to counteract your opponent's push, so that they aren't like super crazy able to push in this area and just take over. Yeah, and you don't really want to. Basically, you want to push this way, then north. If that makes sense. Northwest, I guess, if you're starting this way. Just like that and that. Back towards your HQ and then back this way. To wipe up, basically you want to make some nice push here and wipe up any of your opponent's units here on your on your weak side and then push back towards their HQ. Maybe grab the comp tower, maybe don't. Creator with Sammy, that's an interesting thing to note for this match, but as you can see, for tier 4, Adder's about even. Grim sucks. Jake around even. Just has a bit of an advantage actually. Sammy is 36%. So I get the impression that some of these COs have been used in higher tiers for some reason by people who've been trying to take maybe Jester someone against Kindle for some reason. But anyways, 15 days, 28 capture limit. Honestly, in tier 4, Jess is probably your go-to. But Sammy can make it work as well, as you will see. But I think let's just go ahead and get into it. This is Sammy versus Sammy bloodbath. I think overall openings are pretty standard from both of us. As you can see, gotta reload every 2 seconds on this replay. So why not? But as you can see, just pretty quick progression into the center. I'm gonna skip to turn 5. As you can see, we're around even on capturing on our capture games. My opponent's a little bit ahead. But we're basically dead even. That should be more than 5 for my opponent. But anyways, as you can see, I think this is going to start coming down in a second, but I think I had a pretty good opening. I have a pretty good opening worked out. I think it works with basically every CO, so basically you open with artillery, get a tank down here, and then maybe a mech here as well. And then you use the artillery and the tank to finish off that pipe scene. So I've got the comm towers pretty early. Well, actually, I didn't use the tank for that. That should be who knows? That should be down to 19. So next turn I'll be able to finish it off with the artillery. Should be fine. As you can see here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, I can counter bet early recon play, so boom. Honestly though, I don't know if that was worth it, because I could have grabbed this city instead. But taking that recon down to 9 health is also pretty good. So I don't know which is worth it. Worth more. But oh well. Moving in with my infantry and stuff, got a pretty early battlecopter, which I think I might have, no, I was already taken down. I think my other scavenger match was a bit better on the opening, actually, not gonna lie. But I've got the, oh definitely, the transport copter, I'm moving in here for some reason, where I should be sending it north. I should definitely have sent it north, but whatever. As you can see here, it's day 9 already. And the board is kind of even. But as you can see, she's got a bunch of units up here that I'm not really dealing with. I'm just letting her move in with them for no reason. So, and I think no, I wasn't able to go into those cities yet. If I had used my transport copter properly, I would have been able to boost them a little bit, and I would have been able to go for these a bit earlier as well. I think it is interesting that my opponent is rushing for those cities a little bit, so they know that they're important. But I should have definitely had like a recon or maybe even a tank up here to support there and deal with that. Other than that, though, I think I'm ahead. I'm pretty ahead so far in just streets unit value. No, I'm not. we're dead even now. So it was because I had bought stuff my turn. But as you can see, I'm starting to lose my grip a little bit here. Starting to lose. So my opponent's going to be able to take that next turn, which is irritating. Not gonna lie. Because of Sammy's crazy capture stuff. So yeah, that's Sammy doing Sammy things, and I'm just gonna, you know what? I'm just gonna skip ahead to turn 12. As you can see here, I've got a bit of stuff invested all the way over here. So at this point, I've made some pretty good gains here. So at this point I should have started moving stuff back here. Start wiping the floor with this stuff up here, but I didn't do that. I just pushed further and further into my opponent's HQ side, which is okay if you have the stuff to back it up. But I don't have the stuff to back it up. I don't really have the artillery in place to start taking shots at the black belt in the HQ yet. So I really need to start investing some units up north and not leave it completely undefended. Yeah, this is kind of what happens when you send just infantry and then start make spamming later on. Not really great. Not really great, I'm not gonna lie. You gotta put some investment into your weak side here. Or at least fall back with everything after a little bit. But as you can see here, I pushed too far and he's able to do a good amount of damage. I think this turn is probably, or last turn when I pushed in like crazy, was probably what sealed the deal for this game. But I think I'll last for a couple more turns at least. Moving in like this. But as you can see, my opponent is is already actually taking a pretty big income lead. I think I'm at 20 something there. Let's go to turn 12. I don't care. I want this around half an hour. So as you can see, I'm trying to do captures up here, and honestly, it's not too bad. I'm going to be able to take that one at least in the top left. But because he's able to push in like that, it's not going to matter too much. And he's also going to be able to push in like crazy against my units down here, so not too great, not going to lie. But anyways, day 13 rolls around, and I'm at... I hate how this replay keeps on getting interrupted because I wish I'd be able to see the income and value differences a little bit easier, but oh well. As you can, just looking at the map, you can see that my units are not in the right spots to deal with this push here, so that's not great. And my mech spamming here, although very spirited, they're not gonna be able to reach the front line in time. So if you're gonna be mech spamming like this, you need at least a transport copter to support from with. Maybe a black boat or an APC, because you can put the APC into this forest and just ferry them like that. But yeah, I don't know what I'm doing here. These units are not going to reach the front line in time. That's basically the gist of it. So they're going to be useless. This is like 12k that I could have put into like an extra 2 artillery even, or like 3 recons. This would be 3 recons that I could have sent north, and I would have been able to deal with a bunch more of this. But oh well. Yeah, this mech spamming. What was I doing there? What was the point of that? Even, because they were never going to make it back up there in time to reinforce. And they look pretty though. They were lined up nice. but no, that's not gonna happen. I get 2 anti-airs here because my opponent's been spamming battlecopters a little bit, which isn't too bad of an idea because Sammy's weakened. Well, I don't know if it's too crazy, but like Sammy, it basically means he's basically seizing on the fact that I don't have any anti-air here at all. So that's 15, and I guess I'll show off victory marches. So I pop victory march, and there you go, and I get this. And this is sort of showing off why Sammy's not too great in Fog. But I was out of position anyway, so I don't know how much it mattered, but that was my victory march. Now let's see my opponent's victory march. Pops it, and he's able to actually push a lot with his vehicles as well, which is another important thing with Sammy. You gotta make sure you have a bunch of vehicles. You can't just do infantry. You can't just do artillery or indirects either. You gotta use tanks and stuff. That should be captured at this point, but as you can see, opponent's able to just keep on turning them to the other color, and I lose because he was able to grab enough. So that's Sammy. Always keep an eye on your capture limit, especially if your opponent's winning crazy like this. If you're playing Sammy, black boats make you suck. And you can't next spam like that. It just doesn't work. You gotta have something with movement in order to deal with weak side like this. So that was the Sammy versus Sammy match. Honestly, this one I didn't. Yeah. Anyways, that's today's episode. Hope you liked the double short matches and the basic mistakes. Although, honestly, the mistakes are kind of too stupid to really get much out of, but oh well. Next week will probably be this Rivendell match versus a Rachel player. Entry level. It's kind of short though, so I might save it for a day in which I have something. Yeah, I might save it. It's either going to be this Rivendell match or this... Actually, no. Next week's match... I'm going to skip this. Next week's match is going to be this Hawk versus Grit match. Which is going to be a very good match, actually. It's a 900 level. I'd say mid-900 level. That shows my Grit is bad in Fog. So... yeah, that's going to be next week's match. Tune in for that, like, subscribe, all that nonsense. Other than that, I am out. Peace.